Well, just when some fans were ready to write off the Who's, UVA goes into Georgia Tech, goes into Atlanta, and has a great game and wins a big road victory. Hello, everyone. Welcome to UVA basketball on Locker Room Access, along with T-Dubs, Chris Havlicek, and Dougie Fresh. I am Mark Jerome. Guys, good win on Saturday. We feeling revived? Are we feeling like the season's been saved? Are we feeling like, let's wait and see?
I'm a little bit in the let's wait and see category. I do think the Georgia Tech game was a big step. Handle our business on the road has been our Achilles heel. We withstood a big deficit. We came back from a big deficit, then we withstood a mini charge from them. So that was all good.
Right, late in the game, it looked like we were up pretty solid and had the game in hand, and all of a sudden they make a good run, and we're holding our breath for a little bit. T-Dubs, thoughts on the last game, how you're feeling about the season in general at this moment?
No, I think winning on the road was a big one, right? Like we talked about, can they do it on the road? Next question is, can we do it consistently? But it seems like we found something with Minor giving us some physicality down low, and then obviously McNeely hit a bunch of shots, but someone else stepping up and hitting from the outside has really helped. So I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic, I think is the right way to look at it. Because can we keep it up? It's still got a tough schedule remaining. This one's a big one at home. Can we rebound from the big loss we had in Raleigh? We're favored by like 6, I think. So I don't know. Hav's probably done some research on.
He has, but we're going to get to that in a second. But T-Dubs just mentioned a major change in the offense in the lineup. He mentioned Minor's been getting a lot of minutes. You are one of the people that says, hey, if something is not working well, let's consider a change or let's make a change. Minor getting more minutes, and of course, Dante Harris coming back has been a lot of help. What are your thoughts on the change in the lineup and how that's helped us just strategically?
Yeah, the two big things that are the two big developments are, Minor emerging as a legitimate player for us, buried on the bench, didn't play, really didn't play against NC State until the back end of that when it was over, and then getting Dante back. So we're at full strength now. Going back to the Georgia Tech game, the thing that here's what worries me, because I honestly feel that that's a game we should win. Like, now we're sort of celebrating that we won on the road, but that's a game that we should absolutely win. That's a young team. They're okay. We should beat them. And when Fresh and I were playing, you played early. The first kind of half of our careers, you always played everybody home and away. Now it's a bigger, more diverse conference. You don't always get people home and away. We have a home and away with them. This is like a payback game. So you have to be ready to get back. We're a different team than we were then, but I don't put a tremendous amount of stock in the fact that we beat Georgia Tech on the road. That's not a very good team. They're okay. Stoudemire is going to get it right. He'll bring some really good talent in from, that hot recruiting bed that he's in. They'll be good, but we should win that game. So, when I know we've got like the longest winning streak in the country, I know that we have played poorly on the road and really well at home. I think it's more of a case where we have played inferior opponents at home for the most part, and we just beat up on them. And then we played a team that wasn't very good in Atlanta and beat up on it. With that being said, we needed to get that win. We did it. So TW used the phrase cautiously optimistic. That's right where I'm sitting. I'm in 34B. It's a middle seat of cautiously optimistic.
I couldn't agree with you more. But T-Dubs, what about playing a team like Notre Dame. That's a game we should win as well, right? Whether on the road. And the other thing about this game, where it looked like Georgia Tech, where they jumped up to an early lead, and I was like, oh no, are we really going to do this again? And then we climbed back pretty quickly. But T-Dubs, Notre Dame's a game we should win. Different personnel at that time than now, and maybe we're a different team. A little bit, maybe guys are starting to have some chemistry. Maybe guys are starting to learn the system a little more.
Yeah. Looking back on it, that's. I mean, Notre Dame at the time was definitely the worst team in the conference, and that should have been a win. Like it's even easier than Georgia Tech, but we definitely slipped up. I think our team is finding its sort of footing here with some of the shooting and minor and defensively too. I think we really struggled that game. So we'll see. And Georgia Tech, start out hot and they kind of calmed down, whereas Notre Dame just kept shooting all game and really got us pretty good. And again, as Hav said, we get another chance at them at home this season. So hopefully we can right that ship and see what really, if this team is improved or is it all the home and road thing. I'm not sure what to make of it after talking to Fresh and Hav. Like a lot of it seems to be just inexperience. Guys finding their way.
Now, with all this being said, we also want to present a lot of the whatever storylines. Dougie, with Dante Harris being back, your guy is not getting as much playing time.
Well, Chris West just hit it on the head. Gertrude needs to get some meaningful minutes. Next question.
Yes.
All right.
So, sorry. Finish your thought. I'll talk about it.
No. That was basically. I mean, that's my question to you.
Yeah. Well,
the family some. You know the family some. I don't know if you've spoken with them. I don't know if you can. And I've been in situations where I started playing some and didn't get to play. I know Hav a similar experience, and Doug, you had some serious experiences with that. What now? He's the first year. I know we all know that coaching staff is high on him. Reese, there's a pathway for him to play, right? Because next year Reese is gone, so there's a lot of minutes that are going to be distributed. Dante, is a couple of years ahead of him, so there's a plan and there's a future for him. But right now, people want to play now.
Yes, sir.
Every freshman all over the country wants to play immediately.
Yep.
Right?
Well, for me, I wonder if the conversation was you redshirted, Dante got hurt, you're back, Elijah. Do you want to come off it? And by the way, if Dante comes back, you're not guaranteed to have a spot, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
If that was the conversation, fine. If that wasn't the conversation, it gets a little tricky for me. But I'm convinced, knowing Elijah's family enough, and we haven't talked about it since he came back from the red shirt with them. But knowing them enough, they're all in, man. They appreciate the opportunity. 3 years ago, never necessarily saw themselves at the University of Virginia. He's soaking it all in. He's playing great in practice, by the way. So it's not a practice thing. He had a couple rough outings, not always playing with the best players, probably playing out of position. And I could obviously talk a lot about him. Now, I do think there's minutes at the guards position floating around where two other guys are playing 30 or 35 a game, but that's a whole another level conversation.
Yeah.
Guys, can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I lost.
We got you.
For a second. I had somebody calling in. So
we got you.
Let's look at NC State. Let's look at the game tonight. Let's preview it and how do we fix and repair what happened in Raleigh a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, so, it was sort of, we got smacked at Notre Dame, and then we were heading to NC State, and got smacked again. I watched the condensed version of the game today. We were kind of in that, we were right there, but I do think we're a different team, and I think Tony's going to do a couple things differently. Obviously, you guys know, and I know a lot of the people that listen, they know like sort of the roster, right? You got the two DJs, DJ Horn, he's at 15 points and 3 assists a game. Big Daddy Burns, we'll call him Big Daddy for the rest of the broadcast. He's at 11-4. Jaden Taylor gets 12 points a game. He's a shooter. Casey, we're all really familiar with. This is a big game for Casey. Last time back to JPJ as a collegiate player. So he's fired up. And Middlebrook's played really well against us. I think if you honestly take stock of the two teams, athletically, NC State is a lot better than us. They just have kind of better for who we play, and this goes to Fresh's point. For who we play, they have a lot of athletes. They did a really good job of pressuring the ball and forcing our guys out further away from us. They ran people off screens. They got into passing lanes. Like, they played a really good game. I think, one of the big keys today, and I've seen a lot of the chatter on forum, who's going to play against Big Daddy Burns. And so you got to remember, Big Daddy Burns is listed at 6'9", 275. That means he's 6'9", 330. Right? And that means that if we could start a small dinner salad with dressing on the side, I think he would freak out and probably not play the game. The guy eats. I was trying to think of a good. I think he eats like Jersey Mike subs like Twix bars, right? He's just a big dude, and yes, we have a big beefy guy in Minor, but he still looks like Giselle Bundchen next to Big Daddy Burns. So, like,
I would love to see Big Daddy Burns' NIL contracts. I wonder if he's got like Wendy's and McDonald's.
Shoney's. Definitely a Shoney's.
Oh, gotta be a pizza place in there too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, but he's skilled, right? I mean, everybody knows this. The guy, they run a lot of that 4-out. They throw it into him. They rely on him to make decisions. He's very good with it. I said this last game, and I hope we employ this. I think Minor will be a more stout kind of defensive guy, but he's still not big. It's like Shaq was so giant that even other big guys would just get kind of bullied by him. So, what I would do, I think, is make him work, make him run him off screens, get him tired, because the guy can't play more than 5 or 6 minutes at a fast pace. I would try to get him in foul trouble, because in the Virginia Tech game, when he was out, the Hokies made big runs. They're a different team without him in there. So, like, let's get him out. The other thing I do is get IMAC going early. Like, he's had very good statistics this year, but he's had kind of like choppy games where he doesn't score a lot and then he scores a lot in a bunch. Like, even distribution of scoring at that position is kind of key. So I will say that I think we're going to try to get him involved. And then, my last one here, keys to victory. Rhodey's got to be a threat. All right. I think he's a good player. He does a lot of things well, but a lot of times he's not a threat. And just like the guy that sags in the lane when Ryan Dunn, where they let Ryan Dunn shoot, like, people have to be a little bit scared of Rhodey, and I don't think they are right now. Fresh and I were talking, and I said, Fresh, if you could guard anybody on our team and sort of like rest on defense, we all kind of came to the conclusion that, like, Rhodey's not going to light you up for a lot of points. However, I do think he's going to break out one of these games. Maybe tonight's the night. So I'll stop now because I've been talking for 19 minutes.
But you always have great points to make. Dougie, speaking of Rhodey, what is his value on the team? What do you think he brings to the table? Why do you think he plays 30 minutes a game?
Well, I'll tell you what he absolutely does. He moves the ball really well. It doesn't get stagnant in his hand. He doesn't. But what I'd like to see him add, exactly what Hav just said, when he catches it, not off curls, but different times, he backs up immediately. If he just made that one step, like, I'm going to be a threat, even if he doesn't want to be a threat, that defender's got to come. And he's got a very good one dribble pull up shot. His threes struggled. They're in and out. They're not whatever. But I like and the last game I saw at Georgia Tech, he moved really well without the ball for the first time against a real team that I've seen him move that way.
Agreed.
You know, he's setting up screens. He's choosing to curl. He faded a couple times. That's why he plays. I think he plays too much. But shit, that's just me.
Where's my bell?
You got a horn. There it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. T-Dubs, let's look at the way the adjustment in the front court's been.
Yeah.
Where Grove was getting a ton of minutes, and now it seems like he may be the second, maybe the third guy now after Minor and Buchanan. Buchanan's been given some pretty good minutes lately.
Yeah, he has. The one big adjustment is we went bigger there for a little while with just adding Minor into the mix with Groves and Buchanan a few times. It's kind of interesting to see how the rotations have been. When we go really big, it seems to impact the game because we're a lot more physical, and I think some of the guys get to rotate into their natural positions. So that's been nice. Rhodey is an interesting one, though, for sure. I think he's probably a better help defender than the others from what I can tell, but obviously I don't know a ton, but I see him recovering and helping off other guys a lot quicker than anyone else. So maybe that's why he's getting minutes. I have no idea though. It's a Jay Willie question.
I think a good point about Minor. A guy that comes, he's a fifth year. I guarantee you, he's a teammate favorite. He's more mature. The guys are probably making fun of him. He's probably like a pre-2000 born kid, the only one. You can tell they love him, like they like him, and he started to do well. And when your teammates get behind you, man, Hav was my biggest, when I'd make a big play, he was the first dude. Yes, fresh, whatever. But I've seen the team, and I've heard from guys sitting behind the bench, really like into Minor and let's go. And so they love him, and that feeds off of itself, man. It's fun to watch.
It does. One more. Oh, go ahead, Mark. Sorry. Oh, you broke up. I'll say this. I think one of the more interesting things tonight, as we defend Burns, is yes, we've got a big body in Jordan Minor. He's not as big as Burns, but like he's our best option to kind of go out there and confront him and not get back down. With that said, I also have noticed, and we talked about it in the first game, that length, not bulk, really bothers DJ Burns. You saw stuff with Jay. You saw like some taller players affecting him. So it's sort of like pick your poison. Do you want him to be a little like he's going to back a taller, thinner guy down and have to adjust his shot, or do you want him to bang with Minor? That's going to be something interesting to watch during the game to see how Tony attacks. Oh, we can't hear you, Mark. Your audio went out. Let's all go on mute and we can just
You know what's the cool thing? I'll tell you something cool, Haven. Sorry about this interruption. My kids have a deaf girl in their class in third grade, and the entire class has learned some sign language. It's pretty cool. Sorry.
I like that. No, that's really good.
My Ty's like, Dad, guess how you say shit? And he turns around and he takes it. I'm kidding, but it's fun.
I immediately tried to learn every swear word. Every swear word in sign language he learned in like the first like.
Right. He's a Spanish.
If I go out again, that's it. I'm done for the show. Hey, listen, we all know home is where the heart is. We play most teams play.
We lost you, Mark. We lose him?
Yeah, I don't hear him.
Yeah. But
I'm going to paraphrase for Mark. I'm going to paraphrase for you. Look, I'll just read lips right now.
Has an expert lip reader.
He was saying that he needs an oil change He's got to put some air in his tires, and
The
he's
left back tire.
he's craving some takeout Chinese food, some steamed dumplings.
It's a good order.
Some
I
other
gotta
stuff.
say, I don't know if you guys will agree. I think there's I like him. He's fun to watch. But the BIGDADDYBURNS, I think there's too much made out of Big Daddy Burns. If your entire
agree.
defense is going to change for him, then we have. I don't want to say we have a problem. It's the wrong focus. The focus on this NC State team are their 3 guards who are really good. They're grown. They're tough. They're not afraid to play. They move. You know, I'd go head up against Big Daddy Burns. I wouldn't give him a special dog. I might tell one of our more experienced players or somebody that knows, guys, if you want to go double him, go. But don't give him the same look every time, right? Now he's good with the ball. I said he gets an extra pep in his step when he touches the ball. He's like lumbers around, he catches the ball, and all of a sudden he's quick. So
He's not Alonzo Mourning.
no.
He's not, Tim Duncan. He's not a guy that you have to double team. He draws more doubles because he's big. And I will say, I totally agree with you, Fresh, that I would be less worried about him and more worried about the guards. But they do run a lot of offense through him, and he does make good decisions. So,
That's true.
but I don't think he's going to play a ton in this game. They got to give him the Robert Parrish, Kareem. Like, Minor's a really good athlete. Like, he's solidly built, but he's not like a Burns, like, big, heavy dude. Like, run his ass off the court. Every time we get a rebound.
Oh, please. Yes.
Take off, make him try to catch up, all that stuff.
That's
Danny, good.
Danny with the Big Daddy passes well when he does. He surprises you actually sometimes with what he's able to find. I think he's a little more agile than you think, and he makes some passes and he's got some good vision.
Did you guys see that picture? So there was a picture, I think they put it on. Yeah, it was on Forum today of Big Daddy Burns at the Virginia visit. Tony was there. Did you guys see that on the link?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, so it's on there, and he tweeted out like thankful for this opportunity to meet with Virginia basketball.
Yep.
It was Tony and maybe no, it wasn't Jay Willie. It was maybe it was Sanchez. I don't know, but dude, he was. It's sort of like I think he has gone through what we all have gone through in the last like 10 or 15 years, which is sort of like. Weight gain or Fresh, you haven't, but like
I have.
No, but like he looks like he's probably 230 in the picture, and now he's 330. Pretty incredible. Shout out to whoever put that on.
We'll dig that up for halftime.
I have a pop quiz for you guys.
Yeah, I love it.
Can you tell me where Big Daddy, the BIGDADDYBURNS, originally committed and spent 1 year before transferring back home to Rock Hill, South Carolina at Winthrop? What school?
I do know the answer. Do you know the answer? Do you, T-Dub?
No, I don't.
So take a guess, because I was kind of surprised.
Smaller school?
No, bigger. Big time. Not the biggest time, but big time.
I'll give him a hint. SEC.
I was going to say South Carolina.
Close enough.
Yeah.
For San Fran, it's close enough. Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. Okay.
I had no idea. Spent a year there, went back home to Winthrop, had three real seasons there, maybe 2 or 3, right? And then transferred to NC State. So he's got an interesting path, man. Circuitous route to Durham or Raleigh, wherever they are.
I mean, NC State is a bunch of transfers. I mean, they
crushed
advantage.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of it.
We talked about that last game, I think, at halftime or post game. I didn't realize that they did crush it. It's a good point.
Yeah, no, I got my notes right here. Let me just go through it.
Played since 1978, probably, right? It's good for them. Now it's illegal.
Yeah, they are. Hold on, let's see.
What do you think? Back in the day, and I mean, he deserved every bit of it if he did. Like a Cutlass game had, two-door, laid back. I shouldn't bring his name. He's supposedly one of the greatest guys ever. But
All right, here it is from my old show notes in my little thing that I write in. All right. I am annoyed that Dennis Parker Jr. is from Richmond. I talked about that. Ben Middlebrooks from Clemson.
Yep.
MJ Rice from Kansas.
Wow.
Muhammad Diarra, we just call him Diarrhea. Diarrhea transferred from Mizzou.
Yep.
And then Mike O'Connell, who, is just, I think, played with Markey or with him or against him a lot from Long Island, was a Stanford guy. So they've really been kind of all over the transfer portal, and I think they've done a really good job of building that team. I like how they play. They're very aggressive and free.
They had an Arizona transfer as well. Remembering back to when you talked about it.
Oh yeah, they did.
That's what we noted pregame. If we were like one of these gaming apps where we're not talking about the spreads or whatever, like these guys came from real programs, dude. They've seen things.
Yeah.
It's not like, Big Daddy Burns came Tennessee in Winthrop for a couple of years, so that's way down, right?
Yep.
But you come from this. What are you seeing every day in practice? You come from Arizona, you come from Stanford, whatever the other schools. That's
Kansas, Stanford, Clemson. I mean, Missouri, SEC. They see real stuff.
Yep.
Every day, no doubt. Another thing that I think we should point out is their losses heading into our first game. They were 10-3 against us in our first game. Their losses were to number 12 at the time, BYU, number 22, Ole Miss, and number 5, Tennessee. So, they played real dudes, and, they were kind of ready. At this point in the season, things sort of even out, and everyone's played good teams. You're in conference. You're going against ACC. So, I think we will – it's probably time to get into predictions. Yeah, we got a minute. I'm going to write them down. All right, Fresh, you're up on prediction and 4.
I thought about this early today. Virginia wins 70-65. I hate doing the round number prediction, but that's what came to me. I think we're going to have to score points tonight. I think NC State's going to speed it up, and we're going to see Reese, Dante, and Elijah play at the same time at some point tonight. That's my bolder prediction.
Okay, I'll note that. T-Dub, what do you got?
I got us in a squeaker, 66-65.
Ooh.
All right, we're not that much different.
I'm thinking it's going to be a tight one. What about you have? What you got?
So I told some of the guys this earlier. I have a weird feeling that we're going to play really, really well, and they're going to not shoot well. I think Casey's going to try to do too much in his last visit. I think we win 76-62.
Wow,
Ooh.
that's your highest of the year.
That's close
by
to
far.
Chris.
And I never do that. Mark just texted in. He ordered the Kung Pao chicken, got an oil change, and he said 78-75.
Nice, Marky. Don't forget that left tire.
That's right.
WFSU nailed it. Eli goes for 40 tonight. How many dunks?
At home, I'm expecting Rhodey and Groves to have better games at home. So we'll see.
I forgot who said it earlier on the forum. They said IMAC gets 7 threes tonight. That should be that. We should have a 3-o-meter.
7 threes. That's a lot. That's Curtis Staples numbers.
Hey, we'll come back at the half. What's the most threes that anyone has hit in a game in UVA history? I don't know, but we'll have the answer.
I think I know that.
I want to say Curtis Staples with 9, but I could be wrong.
I'd say that's right. By the way, fun fact for the crew: I made 6 one game.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Let's go. 6 is no joke.
Then I made 5 another game. against Stanford on my. By the way, on my 22nd birthday, 19. Wait,
Was that
when
the? Was that the
1887.
Adam Keefe?
It
Was that the
1887.
Adam Keefe Brevin Knight game?
Thank goodness he graduated. Brevin Knight wasn't on there. But
Okay.
they drilled us out there. Adam Keefe had 97 against TJ. TJ laughs about this day. And they came on my birthday, and it was 1992, so I turned 22 that day. It was my birthday, and I had 5 threes.
Atta boy.
All right, we'll see
Fresh Mike
everybody
Tuda.
halftime.
No.
Let's do it. Go
Go
Hoos.
Hoos.
Go Who's.